Hey, it's John and Mike from brew-juice.com. Tonight we're tasting my attempt at that Flanders Red. So, if you remember from a previous video,
I remember.
So I attempted to brew a Flanders Red, basic recipe out of Brewing Classic Styles. The beer. So this is the one where I had the frozen Rosalaire.
Oh yeah.
And I wasn't. I was pretty sure that the microbes were dead. And
yep.
So what we talked about in the last video was we tasted it,
mm-hmm.
and it tasted like a nice beer. I had fermented it primarily with a big saison yeast, and it fermented down to practically nothing.
Yep.
And I was wondering what to do with it, and your suggestion was to split it in half, because I was thinking about trying to rescue it with a little more DME, maltodextrin, and a fresh pitch of Rosalaire.
Yeah.
Your suggestion was to split it,
yeah.
So we could drink half of it, and I would call it a fall saison. And here we are at fall.
I'm just looking to drink more beer.
And then the other half I would put in maltodextrose, maltodextrin, DME, a little bit of water, and pitch the fresh Rosalaire into a smaller batch.
Okay.
So what I did a few nights ago is I went ahead and I finally got around to racking it, and I tasted a sample of it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is
it?
unadulterated. This is what it was, having sat for another. It's only been like a month or so since we last tasted
Really?
this.
So you didn't do anything?
I haven't done anything to this.
Well, it's certainly a different beer.
It is a very different beer. So tell me what you're getting on that.
Well, it has a sour beer profile. There's sort of that tangy, acidic bite throughout the whole taste at the very beginning, and then as it goes down the side of your tongue there, and then it certainly lingers in the aftertaste. There's a Brett character that I'm getting. It's not as prominent as it was before, but this is fairly tasty. It's not as we've had some sours before, and they are balsamic in nature, and this is nice. It has everything kind of in check.
Yeah. This is, when I tasted this, I said, wait a minute, this is actually a pretty good entry-level sour beer, actually.
Yes.
Because it's definitely sour. You taste it, go, this is sour.
Yes.
There's something
different.
Yeah. But you're right, it's got some of that classic notes to it, but none of them are super strong.
Yep.
I love the way the color came out. This is basically an adaptation out of this recipe. I aged this, this has been sitting on half an ounce of French oak cubes.
Oh, really?
Toasted oak cubes for like a year. And I think that, you're right, there's a Brett character, but do you get, I get there's like a cherry note to it, which I think is like the wood. There's definitely some tannins in the background, which is definitely the wood.
Yeah.
There's definitely that Brett character, and there's a pleasant acid level, which isn't, I wouldn't say it's not really strongly acidic. I think it's fairly clean. I think it's fairly lactic. The interesting thing is this has just been in a 5-gallon carboy, not filled all the way to the top. So I had like the full surface area just below the thing, which they say you know to minimize that, and an orange hood on top of it. But I haven't got a lot of oxygen egress into this.
No. So
it's been pretty good. Yeah. Or ingress, I should say, right? So
I think that this would be a great entry level for the guy or gal who's into IPAs, really getting into craft, and they still say to me, "Nah, I don't really like sours." Mm-hmm. That's an accent that I'm putting on, but I'm not into sours. This would be like, well, try this, and I bet you won't be turned off by sours. This would be a great kind of starting point. Taste this, because this has all the wonderful things that come with sour beers, but in check. It's not offensive in any way.
Yeah.
And it's not like we've had some beers, man.
Yeah.
And unless you let them warm up and like kind of, but I don't know if that's the kind of part of the process where as it warms up, it reveals itself to you. It's like a wine, right?
I mean, one of my favorite sour beers that we can easily get our hands on most of the time is like Rodenbach.
Mm-hmm.
This reminds me of Rodenbach.
Yeah.
it's because it has that like dark cherry taste and then a wood character behind it. I really like that.
Now, did you to what extent did you carbonate this in the keg?
This is carbonated to. This is
How many volumes?
This is probably only like about 2.5 volumes.
Okay.
So if I amped up the CO2 a little bit more,
yeah,
it's probably like between 2 and 2.5. Because I was force carbonating it pretty quickly and to get it ready for tonight. But it could definitely be spritzier. But
do you want it to be spritzier?
I don't know.
See, I think it's nice that it's gentle.
Yeah.
In its carbonation.
It's
Yeah.
This is a pleasant accident, really. I mean, it's you try to do what you can, but I had no hopes
That's
this
the
was ever
comment.
going to
That is
sour.
the comment of this video.
Yeah.
It's a pleasant accident, and it is. It's quite.
Yep.
It's quite pleasant.
Yep.
And hold on to this one.
Even the foam has a bit of like a reddish color to it.
It's good.
It's great.
All right, so you didn't split it.
I did split it.
You did split.
So this is about. I've got about 3.5 gallons
in the keg
of
right
this
now.
in the keg.
Yep.
And the other 2 gallons, I've got 2 gallons, a little shy of 2 gallons, in a 3-gallon carboy that I'm going to
do something. Yes.
I'm going to amp it up. I'm going to hit it with the more sugar and the fresh rosalaire.
Okay.
If anything, it'll just serve as a starter for the next sour. But if that becomes if that really takes off and gets sour, then I could do some back blending with this or something too, and we see where we go.
Nice.
It would just be an interesting contrast to see how that comes out on top of this. This is a pleasant accident, but it's definitely been a big learning experience.
Yeah. And I think it's just more about time. I mean, we tasted my sour after a year, and it still had some time to go. It's still sitting in my basement, and it's going to stay there until December, which will be 18 months. We'll take a look at that again. We'll take a taste of that again. We'll see how that goes. So, all right, man. I'm all for pleasant accidents. Cheers. To that, man.
All right. Hopefully more sour beers from us coming in the future. We're learning, just like everybody else is learning on the big push to brew sour beers at home.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Like this video, comment below, and subscribe to our channel. For John and Mick, brew-dudes.com. Brew on.
Cheers.
Cheers.